The history of Dwane Jackman and racing. Started racing rallying in particular back in 1996. I always had a real passion for this sport, motorsport in general. Got into contact with James Becks, Stuart McClary, Chris Stewart back in, as I said, 96. Really loved the sport, wanted to get involved. Used to go-kart here and there quite a bit, never really anything 150% into, but then Stuart, at the time at school, wanted to rebuild or resurrect his father's Escort, the legendary Ian McCleary, and that kind of fueled the fire for the rest of us to get something going. And then I did a 96 Texaco Rally, and then went on to 2001, competed in 6 years in the sport, and then from there moved to Canada and started rallying there. Rally Barbados, or Sol Rally Barbados, would have been my 6th Rally Barbados, and navigating for me is Michaela Guscott, Canadian born and bred.
This year Rally Barbados was my first Rally Barbados. I have been to the island before, but this was the first rally that I actually got to both witness and participate in. Obviously he's sent me many videos and pictures throughout the years. I met Dwane in 2001 when he first moved to Canada, and we did our first rally together in 2007 in Canada. And that was my first exposure to rallying as a motorsport, but I mean, as a kid I raced go-karts as well. My parents had unfortunately had to deal with me getting a motorcycle right after I got my driver's license, and I've been racing motorcycles since I was 19 up until a couple years ago.
I hadn't driven a car since 2008 because we'd done the Canadian Championship, had a minor off, which ended up being major in the long run. Trying to finish the championship, deciding whether we're going to finish the championship or just kind of put things on pause and begin to build a car for, make Rally Barbados our focus, and that's what we did. We went with the building the car for Rally Barbados. So we hadn't driven it at all. We probably drove it maybe 150 kilometers in Vancouver. We got the car out to port the Friday evening before the event. So King of the Hill was literally, when we say it, the first time we've driven a car competitively in almost 2 years. It was literally that. King of the Hill, fantastic. I mean, the event itself for us was, each run was a purpose. First run was almost refamiliarizing myself with the road and the slippery conditions that Barbados has to offer. The fans are fantastic. Like the crowd support here compared to Canada is insane. I mean, we do 32 kilometer stages in Canada, and I see maybe 5 spectators every 6 kilometers. Here, it is every vantage point you can possibly get to stand on to watch a race car coming through. You see crowd. It's just crowd and more crowd, you know, and that's a really cool feeling. We got the valuable information to the engineers that we needed to kind of make the car a total package for Rally Barbados, which didn't last too long, but this is the way the sport goes, you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. But you know, it was it's real good to be back here on my home soil, what I consider my home, and the entries, the height, the everything was just, although the car is not what it used to be, it was a great experience, and we probably will be back next year for Sol Rally Barbados 2011.
Rally Barbados for me, in comparison to Canada, is, as Dwane said, it's really all about the spectators, the fans, the people that come out. Although it is well organized in Canada, there's really just no spectators that are on the stage. There's very few people that come and watch, not as many volunteers, that sort of thing. So for me, it was really, with the amount of people that were here, it made it exciting. It made it a really great experience.
But as time goes on, I think we did Malvern, which I think by the end of that stage we both looked at each other and it was exactly what you see here. Like, it was just like, yeah, this car is feeling good. So we did, I think it was Canfield 1, and then we did Malvern, and we came back to Canfield with the intention of taking a bit more time out of what we had put on before, you know, and everything was going to plan. We got through things that we were approaching first gear before, became second gear, like, didn't really miss a beat at all on the actual stage. However, the dreaded finish Canfield is the one that kind of got us out. It was really a situation where it was a flying finish that more emphasis should be noted on the flying finish, and that in this case didn't happen. Like, I mean, going through the finish at 150 kilometers an hour, then to have a corner just after the flying finish is really the untold story. Like, we came through the finish like we did the first time. Obviously, not the first time was a lot slower than the second time. Got through the finish line, and then I think all I remember from there was going off the road and the first bit of impact, and then from people around it was about 5 or 6 times end over end. After that, ended up about a good 200-300 meters into the field, but that's about all I remember. I got out, I looked at her, and I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "Your arms okay, feet okay?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "All right, well, I'm fine. Let's get out." And I remember getting out of the car and looking back, and you're so dazed by impact of that magnitude that I couldn't remember which direction the car came from originally, but it was a hard blow. And I mean, the important thing is that we're here to talk about it today. I mean, she looks as though she's been in an abusive relationship for the last 10 years, and I had a bit of a concussion, but I mean, it was okay. All things considered, we were fine, and there's nothing that's gonna, apart from finances, if needs be, is gonna stop us from coming next year. Like, I want to be back, and I think I have a score to settle with Canfield next year. I have to do a run it, but it should be cool. I'd like to thank Alison Elliott. She was one of the first ones on scene. I've known Alison for quite some time. Well, and I think she's more concerned with Michaela than she was with me.
She was a really big help.
She was very big help.
Concerned
She
about
took
us
all of our
and
stuff
make
out.
sure that we were okay.
The Edwardses, they would know which Edwardses they are. That's very important. Blitzkrieg Auto Works, who from all the way in Canada left their jobs to come down and help us, both of us. Shane and Bob, thank you so much. Voyager Car Rental, who couldn't make it possible without being able to get around the island and get our stuff and lug all of our equipment and stuff around. Richard Clark for helping us use his entire facility for the entire time of the event.
From Canada, that helped us out to make it possible for us to get here was Coach Collision that fixed the car from the last rollover.
Very true.
And Bonaventure Fisheries, who really helped out with
really good.
making it possible for us to come here this time.
And to justbeijing.com. And I think the next time that the car gets here, which, as I said, January, we'll be flying a justbeijing.com sticker on the back of the car for you. Thank you very much. So here we have the remains of the Jackman Racing Golf. Well, when we left the road and then we went forward motion, end over end, 6 times into the field where we landed. At the back of the car, where it would have taken, because the front took it first, and then the car went forward, back, and this is what would have struck the ground. As you see, it's actually done what it's supposed to do and collapsed onto the roll cage, making us safe in here. Again, big thanks to Coach Collision, all the way in Vancouver, Norbert, Jason, everybody, thank you. Alright, so here we have our Blitzkrieg Auto Works wing that was built from scratch by myself and Bob at the shop. However, it came in for another really good purpose. We actually made our engagement ring from a bit of the car, so we will always have a bit of this car with us. This was actually made from one of the brackets here by Lazar's Jewelry, I should add, but this is the car is still going to be with us for a while. And this is the ring. But yeah, this is And this should be unity, total unity, forever. Thank you.
Thank you.